Okay, hi everyone. So I will start off by describing what I wanted to accomplish with this project. So I wanted to make a cafe simulation game um, where the player is the employee of the cafe, and the player gets orders and makes the drinks that the cafe offers based off the recipe of each drink, which is just a list of ingredients, um, as seen here in my menu file. I was inspired by Cool Math Games Papa's Freezeria, but I made a much simpler version of a cafe simulation where the player only needs to type out the list of the ingredients in the recipe with the right order and spelling. And also, they have to do it in a certain amount of time to successfully serve the customer. Because if the player does not input the ingredients in the right order or with the right spelling, or if they take too long, um, the customer will leave and the player will receive 0 tips from that customer. So there are 6 different customers in this game, as you can see here in the customer templates. Um, and they have different personalities which correspond with how long they're willing to wait for their drink and how much they tip. There are, yeah, like I said, there are 4 different drinks on the menu with different recipes. Which customer shows up and which drink they order are both random, um, as seen here in the get random customer. Um, at the end of the player's shift, they'll be able to see a summary of their shift and the amount of tips they earned and the amount of customers they successfully served. So I'm gonna run my program and show you guys, and then I'll discuss the topics I included. So we're gonna this is the full folder for my project. So we have a folder full of just PNG images, and then and then a customer file, game file, main file, menu file, an order file, and then a shift results text file where the results of the player's shift are saved at the end of the game. So we'll head over to the main and just run it. So first thing that happens is that a welcome page window pops up. And here at the bottom, there's a button that says click here to begin your shift. So we're going to click there. And so it says we have a new customer, Kai, who is in a bad mood. His order is an iced matcha. The recipe is matcha powder, water, milk, and ice. And I have 15 seconds to complete their order before they leave. So I think no matter what I do at this point, I'm not gonna be able to successfully serve the customer as I ran out of time. So it says the customer left, and then a new customer pops up. So I have 12 seconds. See if I make this. Okay, I successfully served the customer in the amount of time. Image pops up with the corresponding drink. Next customer, it's the same drink. Successfully served again. I'm gonna get another customer. Caleb, who is generous. Okay, successfully served him. Another drink image. Muhammad, who is neutral, successfully served him an iced chai. Drink image pops up. Caleb, who is generous. Drink image pops up. Okay, I didn't make the drink correctly, so the customer gave me 0 tips. All right, so it says, my cafe shift is complete. My total tips earned were $23.50, and the total customers I served were 6. And then it says, the summary of your shift has been saved to shift_results.txt. So we can go over here, and we see that it says cafe shift complete, total tips earned, total customers successfully served. And so this txt file will continue to save the results from each shift the player completes. So my main file here is game.py. Holds all of my code. Menu just holds the menu, customer, just the customer class, order is just the order class, and then the main. So yeah, all of my code is in game.py. As for the required topics I included, as for procedural programming in Python, I used many different data types. For example, customers served as an integer, tips earned as a float, customer names as strings, and served true or false as a boolean. I also used many conditional statements. Like an if statement to check whether a customer's patience ran out, or to determine whether the player's response was correct or not. I used a loop to compare ingredients from the original recipe to the ingredients the player input. I also use a loop to serve multiple customers. I had multiple functions, as you can see, like handle customer, next customer, display drink image, and shift results. As for Python modules, I used random to select random customers and orders. I also used time to track how long the player took to input their response and to see whether the customer's patient ran out or not. I also used tkinter for GUI windows and a button, and also pillow or PIL for image handling. I used OS for clearing the terminal. For the optional topics, I included exception handling for if an image file was not found, right here. I used aggregation when making customers have an order object, and then also another optional topic was I saved the player shift results to a text file here. So what I'm most proud of was probably just figuring out how to use tkinter for the first time. I used it like all throughout my program. I was able to learn how to create like a welcome screen with a begin shift button and display windows, as you saw throughout with the drink images, that automatically opened and closed after being displayed for a few seconds. As we can see in the display drink image function here. Challenges and how I overcame them. It was definitely difficult figuring out how to show an image and then continue the game. I used like tk.top-level to open a separate window for the drink images, and used win.after to close the image after a few seconds. I used a callback function to automatically call the next customer function after the image closed. I looked at tutorials on YouTube to learn how to open windows in Tkinter. Um, as for future improvements, I would like to add more visual interactive pieces to the game, making the user input more nuanced than simply just inputting the names and order of the correct ingredients. And then also possibly have different stations in the cafe where the user has to do different tasks, and also adding background music and sound effects. But yes, this is my final project. Thank you.